So last night, UFC 297 was held in Toronto, and the whole crowd at one point was, let's just say they were letting their expressions about Justin Trudeau be known. And, the former champ Sean Strickland was also kind of in a heated back and forth with some of the woke reporters. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but if you want to see it, you can always check that out. So it's a very kind of interesting time, and he's been in the news and the media a lot because a lot of people want him canceled and banned. But apparently Canadians themselves actually really like him because he got a standing ovation last night, even though he came up a little bit short. But the part I wanted to talk about the most is that Joe Rogan, who almost always comes up here whenever there's a UFC, he also comes up here to do comedy shows and to go hunting. He has not been doing that lately because of the way things are in Canada with Justin Trudeau. Right, so I don't know if you guys knew that, but he's made it very clear, while things are like this up here, he's not coming. He doesn't want to be any part of it. It's like his own way of protesting, I guess. So what he does instead is he holds a fight companion. So he had Brendan Schaub, Eddie Bravo, Joey Diaz, the usual guys that he usually has those fight companion podcasts with. And when he heard that the Canadian crowd was chanting, fuck Trudeau, he basically gave another ringing endorsement for Pierre Poilievre. And I couldn't agree more. He said that Pierre makes a lot of sense, that Canada needs to go back to where it was, and that essentially someone needs to make Canada great again. He didn't use those words, but that's what we need. Joe Rogan knows it. I know it. Most of you watching know it. Most Canadians in general know it. And having someone like Joe Rogan, who has a very, very popular platform, giving Pierre Poilievre a ringing endorsement it's music to my ears. The more people who are aware, the more people who are going to get into politics, the more people who are thinking, it doesn't matter who the Prime Minister is. I used to think that way too. And for the most part, I still think I was right. But that's changed now. You can no longer say it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters now. And we have to vote at every level. Mayoral, provincial, and federal. We really have to start paying attention to this and make sure that we don't let these socialist or communist wannabes ruin our country, because that's what they're clearly out to do. Now it's interesting too, because you see people like Torontonians chanting "fuck Trudeau," but then what do they do in their mayoral election just a little while ago? They voted in an NDP, a former NDP, a big name in the NDP party. So you hate Trudeau, so you elect in as your mayor their woke, further to the left friends. I'm sure most people at the UFC last night probably vote more conservative. But that being said, there's still a lot of people who, even though what's happened in Canada, still like Trudeau, or they like Jagmeet Singh. I don't know how. But I think that the Liberals are at 26% and the NDPs are at 18%. That's over 40% of Canadians. I mean, I don't get it. But, that being said, they don't seem to be growing and their numbers do seem to be going down. I've also heard, I don't know if this is true, but I did hear once that most people who take polls are left-leaning. Don't know why that would be. Don't even know if it's true. But if that is true, and most people who either don't vote or who are libertarians or on the right, if they're the ones who are not partaking in polls that often, then that means that the numbers are a little bit off. Because when the real numbers come in during the election time, which I do also think, by the way, that more people will come out and vote this time, you'll probably see Pierre Poilievre well into the 40s, and the NDPs maybe somewhere between probably 15 and 17%, and the Liberals around 20%. Could be wrong. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm right. And even then, 20% is still a lot to support someone like Justin Trudeau. But the numbers do seem to be coming down at least. They do seem to be getting less and less popular. Hopefully that happens. We all know Justin Trudeau is going to come up with some sneaky way of getting people's attention back on him. Or he's going to, someone will accuse Pierre Poilievre of something and then there's going to be a scandal and he'll dig right into it. he's not going to just go away quietly. He wants to fight Pierre Poilievre. I don't mean physically, but I just mean like he wants to battle with him in an election. And he is not going to fight an honest fight. He will do anything he can. Anything he can to try to smear and slander Pierre Poilievre and convince Canadians to continue to allow him to ruin our once great country.